We have got this MILT Human Relations card number 4, which talks about 4 ways to analyze worry and 4 ways to overcome worry. Well, the first 3 cards had principles with which you can relate with people. And now you're holding a card which has got principles which you can relate with your own self. Well, 4 ways to analyze worry. We all worry. We keep on worrying. We don't stop worrying. One is that we are ignorant about it. One thing for sure, worry does not solve the problem. Worry only worsens the problem. So, having knowledge of it, we still worry because we do not know how to handle the worry. So, these principles can come in very handy. First of all, let's understand what are these 4 ways to analyze worry. First principle says, get all the facts. When you're worrying, instead of just worrying, get all the facts. What is causing you the worry? What are the factors that is causing you the worry? So get all the facts. Don't opinionate on your worry. Don't philosophize. Don't assume, but get all the facts. Clearly, descriptively, these are the facts that I need to work on. So once you got all the facts, weigh all the facts and then come to a decision. The facts are there. Now you need to weigh them, see the priority, see the ones that you need to handle first as a priority basis. And now you got all the facts, you weighed all the facts, you have prioritized them. It says then come to a decision. And the third principle says once a decision is reached, act. Very important. We are all good in finding out what is the problem and what are the causes to it, but when it comes to implementation we are very slow. So therefore it says once a decision is reached, act. If you have decided to take action on certain points, pain points, act on it, because a good decision not implemented in its time will become a bad decision. So get all the facts, weigh all the facts, then come to a decision. Once a decision is reached, act. The fourth principle says, write the answers of the following questions. Here it says write. It's not saying think about it or talk about it, but it says write the answers to the following questions. First, write down what is the problem. Define the problem statement. Clearly find out what is that factor that is causing you worry. What is that problem that is not helping you to progress? So write down the problem. And the moment you have written down the problem, then find out what are the causes to the problem. Write down as many causes that might come in your mind. If you are individually sitting and doing a problem solving, you have written down the problem statement. Now you need to write down all the causes that occur in your mind. But if it is your organization, if you're going to work on a team on a problem solving, the team decides, gets out what the problem is, and then the team members give their views on what can be the causes of the problem. Now, when you're getting the causes of the problem, whatever occurs in the minds of your team member, whatever occurs in your mind has to be written down. We are not trying to find out whether this is a flimsy cause, this is not the cause. No, we are not trying to get analyzation into the causes. We are only trying to get as many causes as possible. And the moment you got the problem, and the moment you got all the causes, whatever it might be, whether trivial, whether insignificant, just get them all down on the paper. After you've written the problem and the causes of the problem, now write down what are the possible solutions. Well, here again, it's not about getting the right solution. You put all the possible solution you think is right. The team members are giving certain possible solution. Write it down. Don't negate it. Don't say it's not practical. It is not relevant. Don't give all these rejection points. But the very fact it had occurred in your mind, it had occurred in the minds of the team members, it has to be written down. So just imagine a situation where on the white paper You got the problem statement written, you got the causes of the problem written, and then you got the possible solutions written. Now, if you can get all these three on the paper, then you'll find the right solution will pop out like a popcorn and hit you between your brows. This is what is known as science of problem solving. So, adhere to this method, and you will certainly land up solving a problem rather than thinking about it, rather than talking about it, rather than worrying about it. And now that you have found out four ways to analyze worry, let us now find out what are these four ways to overcome worry. Now, how do you overcome worry? First principle says live in a day-tight compartment. Day-tight compartment means your entire day is scheduled. Right from morning to the time you go to bed, it is scheduled. There is no loose end of time. The moment there is loose end of time, that's the time worry will enter into you. As they say, a disease will enter a human body only when it lacks immunity. Similarly, a worry can enter a human mind only when there is loose end of time. So here you ensure your entire day is scheduled. Schedule means you're clearly defined what is that you want to do in that every hour of the day. It need not have to be just work. It can be just that I want to laze around for half an hour, fine. I want to worry for 1 hour, fine. I want to do nothing whatsoever for half an hour, fine. Whatever you have decided, you just write it down, because there's nothing right and wrong. It's all about you being conscious about it. So if you're conscious about everything, even lazing, even worrying, even working, even reading, whatever you want to do, if it is a conscious decision, it's certainly a good one. So live in a day-tight compartment. So now you'll find there's no chance for worry to enter inside you, because rightly said, an idle mind is devil's workshop. So never let your mind idle. See to it, it has got its activity scheduled. Face the trouble the following ways. Whenever you're worrying, face the trouble the following ways. Ask yourself, what is the worst that can possibly happen? Now, an eventuality, something is going to happen and you don't know what it is. Now, get prepared. It says, ask yourself, what is the worst that can possibly happen? Just think of the situation that is extreme. And having decided, but this is going to happen to me, and now having decided this is going to happen to you, you have prepared yourself for the extreme. Now it says, prepare mentally to accept the worst. Now you asked yourself, what's the worst that can possibly happen? You've written it down, and now mentally to prepare to accept the worst. Gear yourself to prepare for the worst that could happen. And then it says, try to improve on the worst. And then you will find when the situation really happens, it is not that worst as you anticipated. It is not at all, because many a time it never happens that way. And now try to improve on the worst. See to it that you don't repeat these mistakes again, and correct yourself, learn from that mistakes, and proceed ahead in life. So face the trouble the following ways. Ask yourself, what is the worst that can possibly happen? Prepare mentally to accept the worst, and try to improve on the worst. And the next principle says, remind yourself of the exorbitant price you can pay for worry in terms of your health. Now, every time when you worry, that one factor that is going to suffer is your health, because worry is more to do with the mind and health is more to do with the body. There's a mental health and a physical health. The moment you worry, it affects the psyche, the mind, and then it's got impact on the body. That's why in the medical parlance, they say psychosomatic disorders. That means your psyche is affected, and then over a period of time, your somatic, the body is affected. And it has been researched. 85 to 90% of all our disease is psychosomatic because you worried about it. And then 10 to 15% is body oriented. Now, body oriented is due to external circumstances and situations which you need to take care of. But 85 to 90% of all your disease, your ease gets disturbed. That is what is disease, is because of you worrying. So therefore, if you can take care of this worry, because only you can handle your worry. You cannot go for external treatment for worry. Whatever treatment they might give, it is more towards the body. But here when it comes to the mind treatment, you are the one. So if you don't handle what you can, alone can handle, then nobody can ever help you. So therefore, remind yourself of the exorbitant price you can pay for worry in terms of your health. And then it says, apply the law of averages in your favor. Well, the law of averages is always in our favor. For instance, the possibility for certain things not to happen, for possibility of certain danger not to happen to us is around 98%. And there's a remote possibility of 2%. But the problem with many of us is that we tend to make this 2% possibility as 98% and make our life miserable, and thereby ultimately we get into what we anticipated. So there's a 98% of possibility where that bad that you're expecting to happen is not going to happen at all, because law of averages is always in your favor. Even this pandemic that is going across, there is every possibility that you are not going to get it. But the very fact that you can think about it, this thinking itself is going to kill you rather than any disease that is going to kill you. So therefore, the law of averages is always in our favor. So friends, we have this wonderful principle which can help us to handle our worry and live a sane life by analyzing our worry and overcoming our worry. Let's practice these simple principles, and I'm sure you would have conquered that 85 to 90% which is totally in your hands, and live a life which is very healthy. And then you'll find life is certainly a journey of happiness in spite of the worries and the troubles that we might confront in the progress of our journey. Thank you.